So as I was saying, I came to find out the power of influence here in the safe space of Keep It Moving. And it scaled my business. It helped me communicate better in my social skills, presenting more. And it is all because of the power of influence. Now I need to go to the next and see if I can go to the next. Oh boy. Well, if you pull it up, let me know, okay? Because now I can't see my own slides. Oh, Lord.
Hold on. Get overwhelmed. I got you. Boom.
All
All
right.
right, cool. You just tell me when to click, all right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, get it to the next page now. No, one more back.
All right, we're good.
Okay. So I know you guys have heard me talk highly about my parents. I want you guys to know that I regard them very much. They are amazing people. I'm proud of them. I love them. But I need to paint for you guys a background. I need to paint a picture for you guys, set the stage, because you need to know where I was 2 years ago and what led up to those 2 years. How was I, that mind frame, the mindset that I was in when I came to Keep It Moving or when I came to TEAMFAST? It was very guarded. And my parents came here, immigrants, first one born here, but it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies, guys. I am not going to lie. It was hell. My childhood is very, very dark. Now, I say this, a beautiful cake cannot be baked without a few broken eggs. Okay, I don't know where I got that from. I don't know if it came from my mind or I heard it somewhere. But quite frankly, it took two broken people. Next slide, please. So the dark side of this beautiful chaos that is my family, my parents were two broken individuals trying to make it work here in the States. Now, overnight, I did not realize I had 5 older siblings. So when I was here for the first 7 years of my life, I thought it was just me and my 2 younger brothers and sisters. But come to find out, my father had 3 older children from a different marriage, my mom 2. And then overnight, there was 8 people in one house, 7 strangers or 6 strangers. And I had to fight now for my right to go to the restroom, to eat, to make sure nobody took my food, to have attention. My parents' one mission in life was to keep us alive, have a shelter over our head and table and food on our table. There was no room for emotional well-care. Everybody was broken. Everybody had anxiety, depression. There was just so much instability. The environment that I was in, it influenced me to believe that life was just going to always be hard for me. It was just going to always be hard, and my feelings did not matter. And so I did not thrive in that environment. Unfortunately, because it was so intense, our oldest brother at 19 commits suicide in the house. And the way it was viewed in my family, it was that he was weak. We couldn't talk about it anymore. He was here today, gone tomorrow. I never, ever heard my brother's name mentioned again in that house. It was hell. Now, like I said, I honor my parents, but I have gone through growth to forgive them and to accept that reality. That was the environment I was in. I could not grow because this type of environment only gives birth to survival mode, guarded heart, and pride. If you don't feel safe, you cannot grow, you cannot receive, you cannot learn, and you cannot grow. So I had to come with all of that baggage, all of that influence, all of that layer upon layer upon layer here to keep it moving. And when I came to the team, I was very guarded. Next slide, please. Whether we like it or not, we are being shaped every day by the world around us, be it intentional or be it because of life, right? Have you stopped to consider who is shaping your life? Who has shaped your life? What are you doing about it? Are you being intentional, or is it a byproduct of a survival mode? We have to be intentional on who we're influenced by. An island is influenced by a body of water. It hits the sand, it hits the land, it shapes it, molds it because of the outside body of water. Next slide, please. So here we are, fast forward to 18 years now in the business, doing it all by myself. I'm alone. I don't like to ask for help. I don't like to be vulnerable because it's a sign of weakness. You got to figure things out. I always knew I'm going to make it work. One way or another, I'm going to make it work. But it's so lonely and it's hard and it's depressing and it's a long road. So when a friend of mine suggested Keep It Moving or TEAMFAST, she kept saying it, she was breaking out into the East Bay. And I said, number one, hold up, sweetie. No, I don't need your help. Thank you very much. Because, I don't need anybody's help. And she didn't, because I didn't learn about this team first. I had pride. I'm like, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear it from you. I didn't want to be sold either. But like many of you that have been on this call and have said in the past, she kept sending me videos. And next thing you know, I am binge watching these videos. I am one after another after another. And something is happening now. I am being influenced. I am being influenced by this bald-headed man with all these tats. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Who's this homie talking about? Why is he being all vulnerable? Is he really having this tough exterior and being all sensitive? What gives? And he's up here cussing. This is not very conventional. Now I'm being judgmental, right? I want to, because my guard is up. I don't want to let it down. And if you resonate with this, and if you've been in that position, just listen in a little bit more. Follow along in the YouTube videos. My guard started to come down because he was vulnerable. And everyone else on this team has had one way or another an influence in me. Whether you know it or not, you guys have been influential in my life just by me seeing and witnessing you guys sharing your wins, sharing your losses. You guys created a story in your head, an idea, talked it over in this team, went out there, executed it, videotaped it, YouTubed it, stories, and then came back and reported. That is amazing. And this is all an influence because now I'm seeing that it can be done and I'm not alone. I don't have to do this alone anymore. So again, layers after layers are starting to peel back like an onion, right? You got to peel back all those onions, all those layers in that onion. I am being influenced that I can take action. I can step out in faith. Keep It Moving coaching here has created an environment where you feel safe. And again, when you feel safe, you're able to receive. When you receive, you can learn. When you learn, you got nowhere else to but grow, right? How do you know that you don't know? You don't. And you keep doing the same thing over and over and over. It's the definition of insanity. Ignorance and pride is very expensive, you guys. Working harder and not smarter costs you energy and time. And once time is gone, it is gone. It's expensive to be ignorant. So I had to put down my pride because pride was not allowing me to learn either. And it was keeping me in a place of ignorance. But again, the vulnerability in this team and the talking of this team really opens it up. Next slide, please. This is my two favorite quotes by Brene Brown. Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Being vulnerable is the ultimate act of courage. Guys, in order to be an effective leader, an effective influencer like many of you are, you have to share your story. You have to be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there because that gives permission for others to believe that it can be done. In this 2 years with this team, I've witnessed so many of you become vulnerable, become transparent, become influencers. I've been inspired by tenacity, by people thinking so big. It makes me believe I can think big. I faced fear dead in the face this year by public speaking. Here I am, public speaking again. But I mean, I did it in a face-to-face. Fear, it's amazing when you're on the other side of fear. And all of this because I'm being influenced by everyone that comes to these calls, to these coachings, by Elias, by just this collective effort. Being transparent and vulnerable, you give permission to that one person to believe that it can be done. Now, if you guys don't have any reference, if you guys don't have a person of influence that can really speak into your life, let me suggest a few of these people. I'm going to start with Elias right now and Keep It Moving. Keep It Moving is something that he happened to make into fruition. This is something that he wrote many years ago. Something about Elias and people like Elias is powerful because this man has done a 180 and it's extremely inspirational because I'm dealing with my brother who's an addict. It is horrible to witness him beat that demon and then that demon come right back. and he has to continue to fight and continue to fight. Here's a man who continued to fight those demons and overcame. And then he came out of hell. See, people like Elias, when they've been through hell, they don't stay in hell. They start running, and they run, but they don't keep running. What happens is that they dust themselves off, they roll up the sleeves, they look at themselves, and they go back. They go back to help hella people back to be delivered, to come out of that pit of hell, because you know what that hell is like, and you don't want people to be there. So sometimes I see him coaching and mentoring, and he gets hecka frustrated sometimes, because he says, I don't want to just be a mentor, a motivational speaker. I don't want to just give information. I want y'all to be transformational. But you see, it's because he's already on the other side. He's on the other side. He wants to shake you. He's like, dude, you just don't know how amazing it is on this side. But here's the problem at times. Sometimes we have to hear that message over and over and over. Like there's a rule in marketing, the rule of 7, where a person has to hear the message 7 times before that person can commit to make a decision to purchase your product or to buy in that service, right? Or what have you. So I unfortunately had to hear that message more than 7 times because of all those layers, because of all of that mentality that I was in. I needed to be in this place of influence. I needed to be around somebody like Elias, like somebody like Vernon, somebody who's been through hell and is out, and they want to go back and break free, right? So coming to these coaching calls 3 times a week were my non-negotiables. And I didn't always make them, but I made it here because by being here, I was being influenced. The next one is Ed Milet. Y'all, Ed Milet, he is such a man. The same thing. His father was an alcoholic. He's a product of an environment of such hostility. And he is the same person. He goes back. He's like probably the #1 podcast right now in the world. He sets people free. He just drops so much knowledge. And his book, The Power of One More, man, it's transformational. You guys, if you don't have any other books to read, just start with The Power of One More. The other one is Tribe of Millionaires. Tribe of Millionaires, you guys, it's an amazing book. It's a short read. It's fun. It's interactive. And the first element on there is element of influence. You'll thank me later. You'll thank me. And then final words. Final words, guys. Keep your circle close and make sure that the people that speak into your life are a few steps ahead of you and that they're going on the right direction and they're in alignment with them. Because if you don't have positive reinforcement influences around you, you're going to get sucked back into another negative mentality, or they're going to propel you going forward. I'm a person of faith, so I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but in the Bible, Jesus healed a paralyzed man because of the faith of his 4 friends. They believed that if they were to pick up this paralyzed man and drop him at the feet of Jesus, he would heal them. The man didn't have the faith. The man couldn't walk, but his friends did. The friends picked him up and dropped him, and he was healed. And second, embrace your story. Again, in the Bible, in the Revelation, it says, you defeat the enemy by the blood of the Lamb and the power and the word of your testimony. Tell your story, as you never know who is watching and who you're setting free just by being you. So, in conclusion, stick around, y'all. This is how I scaled my business. This is how I was able to be out there, because I was surrounded by such an amazing group of members of this team.